Unbelievable. MSNBC's Nicolle thinks Fox News is giving Mr. Trump a friendly cover. She also said the audience was not being shown a complete picture. Let's see if there's some truth to Nicolle's allegations. So come on, let's go.
I think the slow-moving scandal, in my view, is that Fox News isn't broadcasting those anymore. That was not aired in its entirety. I actually heard from someone who was watching Fox looking for it that it wasn't on, and they were wondering why. So I saw Vaughn's package, we rolled the tape, and I wonder what you think is going on with Trump.
MSNBC's Nicolle Wallace accused Fox News of failing to provide viewers a complete picture of former President Donald Trump's most recent 2024 campaign rally speech. Wallace believed that the conservative network did not cover all of the presumptive Republican presidential nominees' weekend activities in Las Vegas. Trump complained about a malfunctioning teleprompter and threatened not to pay the contractors who had set it up. He also discussed sharks and electric boat batteries. Let's take a look at this clip.
He just came up. Are the teleprompters not working? So not even a little bit. Great job. And then I don't pay the company that does it, right? And then I end up with a story Trump doesn't pay. I don't pay contractors that do a job. And that's a job. That's a job. This is the worst border in the history of the world. There's never been, no third world country has a border like that. And no third, I'll tell you what, and I hope the military revolts at the voting booth. I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight and you're in the boat and you have this tremendously powerful battery and the battery's now underwater and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there?
Yes, that's unusual. Mr. Trump has been discussing several topics which may have made it difficult for the audience to keep up with what he was trying to say. Wallace then asked former Republican strategist Stuart Stevens what he thought of Fox and Trump. Stevens stated, Fox News is within its rights not to try to show this and hide it. He also stated, I think Trump is like a guy walking around with a paper bag full of water. It's probably not going to leak that much, but when it does, it's going to be hell to pay to get it back. I think that's where he's headed. Let's take a look at the original clip.
He has no theory of government. As you say, he has no reason that he's running other than Donald Trump. This bundle of grievances. And you know, I think Biden is going to win this thing easily. I think come middle of October, people are going to look at this. And, you know, I've said this before. I think Trump is like a guy walking around with a paper bag full of water. And it's probably not going to leak that much, but when it goes, it's going to be hell to pay to get it back. And I think that's where he's headed. And Fox can try to not show this and hide it, but it's a long time to the election. And a lot of people are going to start paying attention that aren't paying attention now. And I think it's going to be impossible to hide the difference.
I disagree with Stephen. The audience should be given full information on political topics. Things should not be hidden. Fox News does seem to go soft on Mr. Trump. Recently, the ex-president was dubbed an elderly first offender by Fox News after guilty verdict. Donald Trump is the first of U.S. presidents convicted by a jury 34 times for falsifying business documents related to a $130,000 payment given to Stormy Daniels just before the 2016 elections.
Count 20, guilty. Count 21, guilty. Count 22, guilty. Count 23, guilty. I'm pausing because it's coming in. Count 24, guilty. Count 25, guilty. Count 26, guilty. Count 27, guilty. Count 28, guilty. Count 29, guilty. Count 30, guilty. Count 31, guilty. Count 32, guilty. Count 33, guilty. Count 34, guilty. That is 34 felony counts here, all guilty verdicts.
According to the MSN News article, after the verdict came out, Jonathan Turley on Fox News stated that it would be absurd for Judge Juan Merchan to send Mr. Trump to prison. Trump went on trial with the whole world knowing who he was, including the judge and jurors. They either love him or they hate him. I've never met anyone in the middle of those two camps, so I don't think that the needle is going to move much here. But it also would be absurd to send him to jail. He's an elderly first offender, non-violent crime, and a very controversial prosecution. Turley continued, this whole case could be overturned ultimately on appeal. I think that Judge Merchan would be considerably outside the navigational beacons to send him to even a day in jail. After the conviction, Trump promised to appeal the decision and called the judge corrupt. The real verdict is gonna be November 5th by the people, he said after the ruling. We have a Soros-backed TA, and the whole thing, we didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th.
But Vice President Kamala Harris called out the embattled ex-pres for his frequent rants regarding his legal woes. Following his conviction in New York last month, Trump has been claiming the whole trial was rigged. That's false, she said. Just look at the facts. Over the course of 6 weeks, a jury of 12 Americans reviewed the evidence. His defense attorney actively participated in selecting that jury and actively made decisions about which witnesses to call and cross-examine. And the jury came back with a unanimous decision, guilty on 34 counts. You know why he complains, she asked? Because the reality is, cheaters don't like getting caught.
Let's think about this. A jury of 12 people, peers, over the course of 6 weeks, deliberated on the evidence and facts and unanimously determined guilt for 34 felony counts. There was a defense attorney who actively participated in selecting that jury, who actively made decisions about witnesses to call, witnesses to cross-examine, and the jury made their decision. And, you know, I think that the reality is cheaters don't like getting caught. And being held accountable.
That's our vice president, always so eloquent. So that's it for today, folks. Keep watching the Daily News, and God bless America.